minutes for all the import into the database and the indexing to happen. So it's a total of 100 minutes, which is less than 2 hours. So you can build your search engine pretty damn fast. You can go even faster if you've got more bandwidth. So if you want to pay Amazon to run in your crawler on EC2, great. And if you want to wait longer, you can build a bigger search engine. Now, how well does monitoring work? Over that 16-day period, we tracked 8 million IP addresses, downloading 1.5 million torrents. So pretty sizable number, especially for just 2 weeks. Now, to give you kind of a flavor of the kind of spying we're able to do, first we looked up the top 7 torrents. Yeah, there's been a ton of studies that did this, but this one is like direct from the DHT. Unlike that other study, there was some accusation that their top torrents were fake. I attempted to verify, and most of these were not fake. So if you look at this list, what you notice is that they're all popular recent TV and movies, and they're probably not legit, right? It seems unlikely that these are legally distributed. It looks like somebody's probably infringing copyright, at least in the US, by distributing this. And by the way, that's the second to last episode of Lost, not the last one. Unfortunately, we had to stop like right before the last episode of Lost came out, which would have been really cool, but that's life. All right, so it looks like the top torrents are all pirated, but what about, well, maybe the rest of it's just Linux ISOs. So we dug through the list. I looked at the file names and the titles for the top 1,000 torrents, and there was nothing in there that was obviously legit, except for one torrent. There was one legit thing in the top 1,000, and it was a subscription to a search for porn. So as far as we can tell, it doesn't look like y'all are mostly downloading Linux ISOs on this particular DHT. So you're going to have to do another study if you want something that makes it look like it's legit. Sorry, I couldn't really conclude that. The other thing we can do is track the popularity of stuff over time. So this is the penultimate episode of Lost. It aired on Tuesday, May 18th. It becomes available on BitTorrent in the crawl immediately after it airs. You guys are fast. But it's not very popular until Friday rolls around. And so you can make 2 arguments with this. You could try to say that, well, people are just using BitTorrent to time shift their viewing of Lost because they missed it on Tuesday. The other argument you can make, which is probably equally valid, so this doesn't really say either way, is that pirates are lazy and they don't have time to torrent stuff until Friday. Right? So this could go either way. Looks like I've got a little bit of... Oh. All right, so that gives you kind of a flavor of the monitoring we can do. If I've got time, I'll show you a couple more charts. But let me start wrapping it up. All right, so with this DHT crawler, if you crawl the Views DHT, you can do 2 things. You can create big BitTorrent search engines fast, and you can spy on 8 million people in 2 weeks. Now, one thing we conclude from that is that there's not really a whole lot of point in all these lawsuits against torrent sites, right? There's not really cut off the head and the body will die. It's more like even if you cut off all the heads, we'll just grow new ones in 2 hours. So what's really the point? The flip side of this is that even moving to the DHT is not going to magically turn BitTorrent into some anonymous protocol, right? Even if there was only DHT tracking, it's not going to help people hide because we can spy on people using just the DHT. So what we expect to see in the future is DHT poisoning, so attacks that make it harder to use the DHT to find peers and harder to do this kind of search engine building. And if you want to continue trying to stop BitTorrent by suing people, the only people really left to sue are the users and the releasers, which I imagine is a big portion of the audience. So look out for lawsuits. So here's a couple links. The top one there is just the basic views page about the DHT. The second one there is really important. It's on the slides on the CD. It's going to have updated slides. It's got a link to the paper that goes with this talk, which has more pretty charts, and it's got a client for the Views DHT. And then those are the 2 papers I referenced. The top one there is Spying the World from Your Laptop. Bottom one is our paper, which talks about how to build a Views DHT crawler. I think I got 1 minute, so I'll show you one more pretty chart. This is torrent popularity on a log-log scale. So the scale is not linear. The little inset there has a linear scale. And just the cool thing about this is that the most popular torrents are really popular, but popularity falls off super fast. So if you catch like the top, I think it was 17% of torrents, you've got almost all of what's interesting. Right, and I think I'm out of time, so I will take questions in the Q&A room. Thank you.